Have you ever noticed that some people just seem to win at life? No matter what. They lose a deal, and somehow a better one shows up. They fail once, and it becomes the foundation for something greater. It almost feels unfair. But let me tell you something powerful. It's not luck. It's not magic. It's a mindset. These people have decided deep inside that everything always works out for them. And because they believe it, they act like it. And because they act like it, life responds. Mindset shapes reality. Everything begins in the mind. Before any dream becomes reality, before any success story is written, before any life transforms, it all starts with a decision about how to think. Your mindset is not just some vague idea floating in your head. It is the foundation on which every action, every choice, and every result in your life is built. The way you see the world determines how you respond to it, and how you respond determines what you get back. When you adopt the mindset that everything always works out for you, you are not simply daydreaming or living in denial. You are programming yourself to look for solutions, to find possibilities, and to keep moving forward no matter what. Think about it. Two people can face the exact same situation and end up with completely different outcomes. One person collapses under pressure, complains about how unfair life is, and quits too soon. The other person faces the same setback but refuses to let it define them. They ask, "What can I do? How can I turn this around?" That second person is not luckier. They are not necessarily more talented. They just carry a mindset that assumes a way forward exists. And because they believe it, they keep searching until they find it. This is why mindset is so powerful. It acts like a filter that shapes the meaning you attach to every event. When you wake up every day believing that everything is working for your highest good, even the hardest moments start to look different. A failed business deal is no longer a dead end. It's a redirection. A breakup is no longer the end of love. It's an opportunity to grow and prepare for something better. Even financial struggles become a lesson in resilience, resourcefulness, and gratitude. This mindset doesn't magically erase pain, but it prevents pain from controlling you. It keeps you standing when most would fall, and that is what allows you to keep moving toward better outcomes. Your brain is constantly seeking confirmation for what you believe. If you believe that life is unfair, you will find evidence of that everywhere you go. Every traffic jam, every rejection, every difficult person will reinforce that belief. But if you believe that life is unfolding in your favor, even when it's hard, your brain will find reasons to support that belief too. It will notice opportunities others overlook. It will spot solutions others are too discouraged to see. This is not blind optimism. This is using your mind as a tool instead of letting it become a weapon against you. And here's something that many people forget. Your mindset affects not only how you feel, but also how you act. A confident person takes bold action because they trust that something good will come of it. A person who believes everything works out is willing to take risks, to put themselves out there, because they are not paralyzed by the thought of failure. Their belief keeps them in motion, and that motion eventually leads to breakthroughs. Life tends to reward the person who keeps showing up, who keeps trying, who refuses to quit, even when it would be easier to give up. Imagine walking into every situation, whether it's a job interview, a new project, or a challenge you didn't expect, with the mindset that everything is rigged in your favor. You would speak differently, carry yourself differently, and handle problems differently. You would be calmer under pressure because you know the storm will pass. You would be more patient with the process because you believe the timing is working for you, not against you. That shift alone can change the trajectory of your life because it keeps you consistent, focused, and emotionally strong while everyone else is burning out or giving up. Turn problems into opportunities. Life will never stop throwing problems at you. That is not a negative statement. It is simply reality. The question is not whether you will face challenges, but how you will respond when you do. Most people see problems as a punishment, as a sign that something is going wrong. They panic, they complain, they look for someone to blame. But there is a different way to live, a way that turns every obstacle into a stepping stone, every difficulty into a training ground. It is the mindset that says every problem I face is carrying within it a seed of opportunity, a hidden advantage waiting to be discovered, if only I have the courage to look for it. When something goes wrong, your first reaction might be frustration. That is natural. But frustration is not where you should stay. The moment you shift from asking, "Why is this happening to me?" to asking, "How can this work for me?" you begin to take control of the situation. That small change in language is powerful because it transforms you from a victim into a problem solver. Suddenly, instead of feeling powerless, you feel challenged. Instead of shutting down, your creativity switches on. You start thinking about solutions, new approaches, and unexpected angles that you would have never discovered if everything had gone smoothly. Many of the greatest breakthroughs in history were born out of someone facing a problem so big it forced them to innovate. Pain has a way of sharpening focus. Pressure has a way of revealing strength you didn't know you had. Discomfort has a way of showing you what you are truly capable of. When you start to see problems not as roadblocks, but as invitations to grow, you stop resisting them so fiercely and start using them to your advantage. Think about your own life. Some of your most powerful lessons likely came from the hardest seasons you've faced. Maybe you discovered a hidden talent because a job ended and you were forced to reinvent yourself. Maybe you became stronger because someone you trusted let you down and you learned to set higher standards for yourself. Maybe you became wiser because of a mistake that humbled you and forced you to pay attention in a way you never had before. These moments might have felt unbearable while you were in them, but looking back, you can see how they shaped you into who you are today. This is the opportunity hidden in every challenge. It can make you better if you let it. It can teach you resilience, patience, and courage. It can grow your character and refine your perspective. It can even prepare you for a future that you could not handle yet. That is why some doors stay closed until you are ready. Problems are often life's way of preparing you for a bigger stage. And the people who understand this do not waste time complaining. They start searching for the lesson and applying it as quickly as possible. And here is the most exciting part. When you begin to consistently turn problems into opportunities, you develop a kind of confidence that no one can take from you. You stop fearing what might go wrong because you trust your ability to handle it and transform it into something meaningful. You become unshackable, not because your life is perfect, but because you know that no matter what comes, you will find a way to make it work for your good. That is a superpower in today's world, where most people are paralyzed by fear of failure or rejection. When everyone else sees a dead end, you will see a detour that might lead to an even better destination. When others are panicking, you will be planning. When they are giving up, you will be gearing up. And that difference in how you handle problems will set you apart in ways that few people will understand. Until they watch you rise from what was supposed to break you. Detach from fear. Fear is one of the most powerful forces in the world, and one of the most destructive. It can stop you from speaking up, from chasing a dream, from taking the risk that could change your life. Fear is like a prison that looks invisible, but keeps millions of people locked in the same routine, the same job they hate, the same relationship that is breaking them, simply because they are terrified of what might happen if they make a move. Fear is natural, but it is not supposed to be your master. When you live as if everything will always work out, you slowly detach from fear's grip and begin to see it for what it really is, an illusion designed to keep you from growing. The problem with fear is that it often disguises itself as logic. It whispers to you, what if you fail? What if you lose everything? What if people laugh at you? And the more you listen, the more those questions sound reasonable. But here's the truth. Most of the things you fear never actually happen. You have lived through 100% of your hardest days so far, which means you are far stronger than your fear wants you to believe. Fear exaggerates the danger, magnifies the worst-case scenario, and convinces you that you are too weak to survive what might go wrong. But when you step back and look at fear honestly, you realize that it is usually a story in your mind, not a fact. When you detach from fear, you give yourself permission to see clearly. You stop making decisions from a place of panic and start making them from a place of purpose. Fear-based decisions are usually defensive. You play small, you avoid risk, you choose safety over growth. But when you refuse to let fear control you, you open the door to courage. Courage does not mean you stop feeling afraid. It means you act even when fear is screaming at you to stop. That is how every major breakthrough in life happens. Not by waiting for fear to disappear, but by walking forward despite it. Think about it every time you have taken a bold step in your life. There was fear involved. The first time you stood up to speak in front of people, the first time you interviewed for a job, the first time you tried something completely new. Fear was right there, whispering that you might fail. But you did it anyway. And when you made it through, you realized the fear was not as big as you thought. That experience built your confidence and gave you proof that fear cannot stop you unless you let it. Fear also limits your creativity. When you are afraid, your mind goes into survival mode, focusing only on what could go wrong. This blocks you from seeing solutions and new ideas. But when you believe that things will work out, your mind relaxes, your vision clears, and you become more resourceful. You begin to see possibilities you missed before. This is why people who stay calm under pressure often outperform those who panic. They can think, adapt, and respond with clarity. Detaching from fear is a skill, and it gets stronger every time you practice it. Start by noticing when fear is controlling your choices. Ask yourself, am I saying no because this is truly wrong for me, or am I saying no because I am afraid? Then remind yourself that fear is just a signal, not a sentence. It is there to alert you, not to control you. Use it as information. Let it sharpen your focus, but not stop your action. When you live this way, fear may still visit you, but it will not dictate your future. You will feel it, acknowledge it, and then move forward anyway. And every time you do, you take back a little more power from the things that once held you back. Eventually, fear becomes less of an enemy and more of a sign that you are heading in the right direction. Because growth always lives just outside of your comfort zone. Take bold action. Belief without action is just a wish, and wishes do not change the world. At some point, you must stop preparing, stop hesitating, stop waiting for the perfect moment, and step into the arena. Bold action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It is the force that takes an idea out of your imagination and plants it in reality. You can dream all day, visualize success, write down affirmations, but nothing will move until you do. The universe does not reward hesitation, it rewards courage backed by action. Taking bold action does not mean you have to have it all figured out. In fact, most people who achieve extraordinary things had no guarantee they would succeed when they started. They simply decided to take the next step, even if they could not see the entire staircase. Too many people wait until they feel ready. But ready is a lie. If you wait until you feel confident, until you know every outcome, until every fear has disappeared, you will wait forever. Confidence is built through action. Clarity is found in motion. The people who win are not those who had perfect plans, but those who dared to begin. Bold action is powerful because it builds momentum. The first step might feel terrifying, but once you take it, something changes inside you. You prove to yourself that you can move forward despite fear, despite uncertainty, despite the voice in your head telling you to stay safe. That first step leads to another and another, and suddenly you have momentum on your side. Momentum is magic. It attracts opportunities. It draws people to support you. It makes the impossible start to look possible. Think about how many opportunities are lost because of hesitation. The phone call you never made could have opened a door. The proposal you never sent could have landed the deal. The person you never spoke to could have become your greatest ally. Every time you hold back out of fear or doubt, you shrink the size of your life. Bold action does the opposite. It expands it. It pushes you into rooms you never thought you would enter, into conversations you never imagined having, into possibilities you never dreamed were available. Taking bold action also communicates something powerful to the world, that you believe in yourself and in your vision. People are drawn to certainty, and nothing communicates certainty like someone who acts with conviction. When you move with confidence, others feel it. They begin to take you seriously. They trust you because you clearly trust yourself. That trust can lead to support, partnerships, and breakthroughs that only happen when someone sees you are willing to take a stand for your own future. Yes, bold action will sometimes lead to mistakes, but mistakes are simply feedback. They are not evidence that you should stop. They are instructions on how to improve. Every person who has built something meaningful has a trail of failed attempts behind them. But each attempt taught them something, refined their approach, and made them stronger. Bold action is how you collect those lessons faster and get closer to the result you want. When you start living with the belief that everything works out for you, Bold action becomes less scary because you trust the outcome. You stop worrying about every step being perfect, and you focus on staying in motion. You trust that even if you take a wrong turn, you will be guided back to where you need to be. That trust allows you to act bigger, to act faster, and to act with a kind of courage that separates you from the crowd. So take the step, make the call, launch the idea, speak up in the room, go after the opportunity. Every bold action you take is a vote for the future you are trying to create. It is you saying to life, I am serious, I am ready, I am willing to move. Now show me what's next. Focus on the long game. One of the biggest reasons people give up on their dreams is because they judge their entire journey by what they see today. They start something new, they face the first wave of resistance, and because success hasn't shown up immediately, they convince themselves that they are failing. But the truth is that every meaningful success in life takes time, often far longer than we think it should. Playing the long game means refusing to measure your future by your current circumstances. It means being willing to endure the waiting, the setbacks, and the slow seasons because you trust that what you are building will eventually pay off. Patience is not passive. Patience is power under control. When you focus on the long game, you stop expecting instant results and start valuing steady progress. You begin to understand that every small effort, every day you stay disciplined, every time you keep going when it would be easier to quit, all of it is compounding in your favor. Success is rarely one big breakthrough moment. It is the result of thousands of invisible, consistent decisions that finally produce a visible reward. The long game is about perspective. It is about understanding that a temporary loss does not define you, a bad week does not break you, and a delay does not mean denial. It is about zooming out and looking at the bigger picture. If you are building a business, you understand that some months will be hard, but you keep building because you are not in this for a quick profit. You are building something that will last. If you are chasing a dream, you understand that rejection is not a signal to stop, but a signpost pointing you toward refinement. When you play the long game, you stop obsessing over how fast you are going and start focusing on whether you are moving in the right direction. There will be moments in life when nothing seems to be working. The calls go unanswered, the results don't show up, and you feel like you are pouring everything you have into a bottomless pit. This is where most people give up, not because they lack talent, but because they lack patience. The ones who win are the ones who stay the course, who understand that seeds take time to grow. You cannot plant today and harvest tomorrow. You must water the soil, protect the seed, and trust that growth is happening even when you cannot see it. Playing the long game also teaches resilience. When you know that success is a process, you stop panicking every time something goes wrong. You stop thinking in terms of "I failed" and start thinking in terms of "this is just one step in the journey." This shift frees you from the emotional roller coaster of highs and lows because you know the outcome is not decided by one bad moment. It is decided by your willingness to stay in the fight until the results catch up with your effort. This perspective also keeps you grounded when you do start to win because you have learned to appreciate the process. You don't take success for granted. You know what it cost you. You know how many times you could have quit but didn't, and that gratitude keeps you humble. People who chase quick wins often lose them just as quickly because they never learned to build a foundation strong enough to hold what they were asking for. Playing the long game ensures that when your breakthrough comes, you are ready to handle it. Focusing on the long game is not about being passive or waiting forever. It is about combining faith with action, patience with persistence. It is about staying committed to the vision even when today does not look like what you imagined. It is trusting that every step, even the slow ones, is moving you closer to where you are meant to be. Stay resourceful and optimistic. When life throws challenges your way, you can either shut down and complain or you can rise up and get creative. Staying resourceful means refusing to get stuck in the mindset of limitation. It is the ability to look at what you have, no matter how little, and find a way to use it to move forward. Too many people wait for the perfect conditions before they take action. The right amount of money, the right connections, the right timing. But if you wait for perfection, you will wait forever. Those who achieve extraordinary things do so because they use what is in their hands today. They take small beginnings and turn them into something big because they refuse to say, "I can't," Instead, they ask, how can I? Resourcefulness is about using challenges as a trigger for creativity. When a door closes, you start looking for a window. When an idea doesn't work, you try another angle. When a plan fails, you build a new one. This mindset transforms obstacles into opportunities to innovate. Some of the most successful businesses in life, changing inventions were created during times of crisis, when people had to think differently just to survive. When you stay resourceful, you train your brain to look for answers instead of excuses. You stop obsessing over what you lack and start focusing on what you can do with what you already have. But resourcefulness alone is not enough. You must also stay optimistic. Optimism is not pretending that everything is perfect. It is choosing to see the possibility of a better outcome, even when the evidence around you is discouraging. It is refusing to let negativity take root in your heart. Optimism fuels action. When you believe things can get better, you are willing to try again, to experiment, to keep putting in the effort. But when you lose hope, your energy drains, your creativity shuts down, and you give up far too soon. Staying optimistic requires protecting your mind. The world is full of voices telling you why something cannot be done, why the economy is too bad, why competition is too high, why dreams are unrealistic. If you constantly feed on negativity, you will start to see everything through a lens of defeat. You must guard your perspective and surround yourself with ideas, people, and environments that keep your hope alive. Optimism is contagious, and so is pessimism. If you spend your time around people who complain about everything, eventually you will join them. But if you choose to stay around people who speak possibility, who are solution-oriented, who believe that something good can come from even the worst situation, you will stay strong when others are falling apart. When challenges hit, optimism allows you to stay calm when everyone else is panicking. People trust leaders who remain steady under pressure. They look to the one who has hope as a source of stability and inspiration. This is why staying optimistic is so powerful. It not only keeps you moving forward, but it also attracts others who will join you and help you win. Nobody wants to follow someone who has already given up on themselves. People are drawn to those who have a light in their eyes, even when everything around them seems dark. Being resourceful and optimistic does not mean ignoring reality. It means refusing to be crushed by it. It means acknowledging the difficulty, but choosing to rise above with action and hope. When you live this way, you become unstoppable because there is always a way forward in your mind. You may not know exactly how things will work out, but you trust that they will, and that trust fuels the creativity and persistence required to make it happen. Attract opportunities with positivity. Opportunities are not always something you chase. Many times, they are something you attract. When you carry a positive, confident energy, you become a magnet for good things. People notice the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, the way you respond to difficulties. They can sense if you are weighed down with negativity or if you are radiating hope and belief. Opportunities are often connected to people, and people naturally want to work with, invest in, and support those who inspire them. Positivity does not just change your own experience of life. It changes the way others experience you. When you choose to act as if everything will work out, you send out a message that you are not someone who gives up easily, that you are someone who will keep going until the outcome is good. This kind of confidence draws the attention of decision makers, mentors, and collaborators. They see you as someone worth betting on because you believe in yourself enough to stay committed no matter what. On the other hand, negativity repels opportunities. If you constantly complain, doubt yourself, and speak as if nothing ever works, people hesitate to involve themselves in your journey because no one wants to invest in a sinking ship. Positivity is not just about smiling and pretending everything is fine. It is about embodying the belief that solutions exist even when the path is not clear yet. When you bring this kind of energy into a room, you lift the atmosphere. People leave conversations with you feeling more hopeful, more inspired, and more motivated. That kind of presence is unforgettable, and it makes people think of you when opportunities arise because they associate you with forward momentum and possibility. Imagine two people going after the same opportunity. One shows up full of worry, talking about how everything is so hard, how life is unfair, how nothing ever works out for them. The other shows up radiating gratitude, excitement, and faith that this is just one of many good things coming their way. Who do you think will be chosen? not because they are necessarily more talented, but because positivity is magnetic. It creates trust, it creates connection, and it creates an environment where others feel good simply by being around you. When you live with this energy consistently, you start noticing opportunities that others miss. Your mind is not clouded with negativity, so you are open and alert. You hear things others ignore. You see possibilities others overlook. You meet people others pass by. And because you are willing to step forward with faith, doors start opening, sometimes in ways you could have never predicted. This is how positivity and action work together. Your mindset attracts the opportunity, and your willingness to move turns that opportunity into reality. Positivity also sustains relationships. People want to partner with, work with, and support someone who makes them feel capable and hopeful, not someone who drains them with constant doubt. This is why some people seem to have an endless flow of connections, invitations, and chances. They have built a reputation for being the kind of person others enjoy building with. You can become that person by simply deciding to lead with positivity, no matter what season you are in. The beautiful thing about this principle is that it is not limited by your current circumstances. You can be broke and still be positive. You can be going through a storm and still be uplifting. You can be struggling and still be grateful. This does not mean you ignore pain. It means you choose not to let pain be your identity. You become a light in a dark world, and that light naturally draws people, ideas, and opportunities that match your energy. Everything we have talked about leads to one powerful truth. The life you experience is created first in your mind, then shaped by your actions, and sustained by your belief that everything is working for you. When you decide to carry the mindset that everything always works out, when you choose to see problems as opportunities, detach from fear, take bold action, stay patient with the long game, remain resourceful and optimistic, and radiate positivity, you stop being at the mercy of circumstances and start becoming the author of your future. This does not mean your life will be free of challenges. Far from it. But it does mean that no challenge will have the power to break you. You will face setbacks, yes, but you will no longer see them as signs that you are finished. Instead, you will see them as signs that you are being redirected towards something better. You will act not out of desperation, but out of confidence. You will walk through life with the calm assurance that everything is aligning. Even the things that hurt, even the things that scare you, even the things that look like failure. When you live this way, you inspire others without even trying. You become a living example of what it looks like to trust life, to trust yourself, and to trust the process. And that example can change families, communities, businesses, and generations. People will look at you and say, I don't know how they keep moving forward with so much faith, but I want to live like that too. So decide today that no matter what comes, you will hold the belief that everything is working out for your good. Decide that fear will not be your master. Decide that you will take bold steps, that you will play the long game, that you will stay creative and optimistic, and that you will radiate the kind of energy that attracts the right opportunities. Because once you start living this way, you will realize that it was never just an act, it was who you were meant to be all along.